Joining us now is Oji Okpe with stories trending around the world. Good morning, Oji.
Good morning, Leila.
I love
How
this
are
yellow
you?
on you. I'm
Thank
good. How are
you.
you?
I'm feeling yellow
How was
today.
your weekend?
Great. How was your
this
weekend?
week
We are waving this week.
Hello, yellow.
Hi, Tundu. It was your birthday over the weekend. We had fun. Happy birthday to you.
Yes, congratulations.
All right, well, good morning to you, viewers. We begin what's trending today in Nigeria. Senior advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Femi Falana, has weighed into the decision by the Borno State government to commend and promote a school teacher of Southeast origin, Obiageli Mazi, who on Friday last week had an encounter with the state governor, Professor Babagana Zulum. In a video that went viral over the weekend, the governor was seen handing out a stash of cash to the teacher. The teacher, Mrs. Mazi, who is from Abia State, had been a classroom teacher at the Shehu Sanda Kiaram Rimi Primary School for 31 years. During a random visit by the governor as early as 6:30 a.m., Mrs. Mazi, who was the only teacher at the school. Overwhelmed by her dedication, the governor handed the cash reward, which was over 2 times her monthly salary, and in addition, recommended her for promotion. The action has garnered a lot of reactions from many Nigerians. Femi Falana commended the act as an indictment on those who categorize victims of Boko Haram insurgents along religious lines. I mean, the story was trending all over social media over the weekend. I mean, I think Femi Falana was apt with his description because he just talked about the fact that the elites use this as an opportunity. I mean, the fact that this lady is from Abia State was just wonderful. And she's been a teacher since, for over 3 decades. Yeah. And she remained there solely just to be teaching. And she never ran away from, the state where Boko Haram has been, raging and kidnapping school children. And I thought this was such a great example. He must really be commended, the governor. There were a lot of stories on social media about the fact that he handed out cash, which it felt like, it was not his money to do so in the first place. And the fact that he should have just recommended her as a school, promoted her or given her a promotion. And, the fact that he gave out cash was an outrage.
But how do they know that's not his personal
This is
cash?
what my conversation is.
I don't like unnecessary criticism.
That's what I thought. I thought it was unnecessary.
What if it's his own money? Yeah. Does he not have any money?
If it was his own money, he should have made a statement saying that he gave his own money. That's what people are saying as well. Okay. But I don't know. I mean, it's just really ridiculous.
I agree with you that Governor Zulum should be commended.
Yes.
And incidentally, since the general elections of 2019, he's been one of those governors that have been identified as governors who are, proactive, committed, hardworking. You will recall that the other time he had an issue with the Nigerian Army headquarters.
Yes.
When he was traveling between Maiduguri and Damaturu, and he discovered that, soldiers who had erected checkpoints along the route were delaying travelers and extorting them. And he came down and he called the commander of Operation Lafi Adole and expressed his disappointment. And of course, later, the Nigerian Army hierarchy had to apologize and address the matter, even if they tried to put a lipstick, on top of it. And now, in this case, he visited his school 6:30 a.m., for a governor. That shows that the governor is attentive. And he has had other instances of actual performance and focus. And I think that should be commended, and I think that he should sustain it. Secondly, the example of Mrs. Obiageli Mazi shows us that in spite of all our fears, parents refusing to allow their children to go and serve in certain parts of the country, persons saying certain parts of the country are unsafe, we still see some Nigerians who are courageous, who still remind us that we're still one country and that we're still one people. And Mrs. Mazi is a good example in this regard. And I hope that, the governor of Borno State, having recognized her, will go a step further and recommend her to be honored by the Nigerian Union of Teachers, which I understand every year organizes a Best Teachers Award.
She has been promoted to the
assistant headmistress position. But at a national level, she can also be nominated for the Best Teachers Award, which is usually an annual award. And of course, this should be something that, should be a source of inspiration for our colleagues in that school.
Yes.
Because I know in Nigeria, you know, when you are recognized like this, instead of people to emulate you, you begin to win, to gain enemies. Yeah. They will say, what is our problem? Is she the only one? You know, that's the Nigerian way.
Women
and
like
I think that she should be inspirational.
Women like her are the heroes of our time.
Yeah.
Like, she is honestly a hero.
The fact that she's not a Northerner,
honestly.
She's just such an exception, really. I love stories like this.
And really. It just brings that other story we're talking about to bear, the Shege Kamfasa people, the coalition of northern groups who are issue these stupid ultimatums telling people to leave the north. This lady is from Abia State and she's made Borno State her home, come hell or high water.
Years.
And that is really commendable.
31 years, sorry.
Falana's point, of course, should not be lost.
Yes.
That, look, I mean, she's a Christian. She's working in Borno State. She's as much a victim as anybody else, you know, and yet she's there. She has remained there. You know, because she believes in the idea of Nigeria.
She belongs there. Yeah. Every Nigerian belongs anywhere they want to live.
Exactly. Honestly.
Absolutely. Well, let's head over to Los Angeles now with a story that has been on everybody's lips, the 2020 Academy Awards. It was an incredible night for the awards ceremony, from dazzling red carpet fashion to Joaquin Phoenix's emotional speech while accepting his Best Actor award. The film that stole the night, however, was Parasite, as it made history to become the first non-English language film to win Best Picture. It also won Best Director, Best Original Screenplay, and Best International Feature Film. Let's take a quick listen.
The Oscar goes to Parasite. 지금 이 순간에 뭔가 굉장히 역사가 쓰여진 기분이 듭니다.
I feel like a very opportune moment in history is happening right now.
시나리오를 쓴다는 게 사실 뭐 되게 고독하고 외로운 작업이죠. 사실 뭐 국가를 대표해서 시나리오를 쓰는 건 아닌데. 예.
Writing a script is always such a lonely process. We never write to represent our countries.
But this is very first Oscar to South Korea. Thank you.
I needed to show you guys that this is such an important moment. You know what I loved about this acceptance speech was it's not like he cannot speak English.
Yeah, he chose to speak Korean.
He spoke Korean.
Yeah.
He chose to speak Korean. And this is such an example, really, for a lot of people. You know, we had that issue about, you know, Nollywood's first ever entry being disqualified because of the percentage of language that was spoken. I mean, this is the argument. We have to remain authentic with everything that we do
But is speaking English inauthentic?
No, it's not inauthentic.
No,
it's not inauthentic. I just feel like it should be different. You know, the fact that they accepted, both of them, all of them actually spoke their language.
But Korean language is the official language of South Korea. English is our
That's another argument. We're not going to argue about that.
I'm just really sad. But it's just the point. It's not an argument. It's just a fact.
Yeah.
But I'm just so sad that Korea got all this great, but our Nigerian Cynthia Erivo was robbed. Our Nigerian girl did not get her EGOT this year. She will get it next year. Yes, I fly the flag for Nigerians. Thank you very much. I make no apologies for that.
I think the important thing about Parasite, you know, imagine. It was a major upset, some people say, because nobody expected it. And that was why we posed the question to Kachi, who was rooting for 1917 and
well, a lot
Sam
of people
Mendes.
expected that to win, Dr. Bassey.
But this has happened, it's historic, and I think for the Academy, it settles the concern about inclusion, representation, you know, and diversity. It may not have been planned because, you know, Parasite is very popular with the public, with the people. It was the people's choice, you know, maybe perhaps because of its innovativeness. It was not necessarily the critics' choice, but it helped the Academy to settle the matter. I think beyond this year's awards, you know, next year, the Academy will have to look clearly into the issue of representation. Even if the argument by Tundun that merit and excellence should not be sacrificed on the basis of quota. But I guess that, of course, this will also inspire other people across the world, other artists, creative artists across the world to up their games, to know that they have a chance at the highest level in the award season.
I think we can do a lot on this with Nollywood, especially over the next year. I feel like this is such a big entryway. We have such a big market already, and it shows that there is hope. You know, like you said, here we were just a couple weeks ago speaking about the fact that we felt robbed, you know, for the fact that English is officially our first language in the country.
But you know, we had that
language.
Nollywood actress in Say on the show over the weekend, and she made that point that the fact that we have 500 different languages, we should use that to our advantage and just try to make sure that we
use that, but English is also an option.
Exactly.
Korean is their language. English is ours.
Well, thank you very much, Judy.
Thank you.
We'll see you tomorrow morning.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you.